From the SealFit 20X and from a few days of this challenge, I've been reminded of the idea of one rep at a time, especially today. But I don't think that's really the issue that we have. Once we get started, the only thing stopping us from continuing is our bullshit beliefs. The only thing stopping us is us telling ourselves that we can't keep going. I think the real problem isn't that we can't do the reps, and it isn't even that we can't do the work. The problem is that every single time we want to do something, we know exactly what needs to be done. We have the easy button to press, that big red button that is whatever we're trying to do, but there's too many other buttons for us to press, and so we don't press it. The hardest problem isn't doing the work. The hardest thing is us making that decision to do the work. If we press all the buttons on a microwave, if we press the time, we close the window, and we prep which mode we want it to be on, but we don't press start, our food will never be cooked. We can't reheat that. We can't create a new meal. Nothing will happen because we never press start. You play an MMO, you play any single game. They simplify it to how many buttons are on a controller, how many buttons are on a keyboard. But there's some games where they put so many things on the screen, you won't even know what to press. Or rather, you know what to use in the instance where you want to do something, but you can't because you can't find it. There's too many other options for you to press. Life is no different. In every single instance, we have to ask ourselves, is it that we want to do what we want to do? Is it to do what we know is right? Or are we going to subscribe to the bullshit beliefs, the ideas that are telling us to not do that? Anything other than pressing that big red button is something that has us not press that big red button. I think all of us have the abilities. All of us are human. We have the limitless potential to do and be whatever we want to do and be. But the problem is, just like how we have to work out a muscle, just like how we have to create that habit of doing one rep at a time, we have to build the habit of making one decision at a time. Every single time we don't press that button, and the button itself can change depending on the situation, but either way, it's what we know is right for the situation. But every time we don't press it, we're training ourselves to not press the button we want to press. We're training ourselves to not do what we know is right. Some people call this discipline. Some people call this conviction or resolve of doing what you know is right, regardless of whatever else happens. But all these buzzwords just come down to one thing, and that's making the decision to do what you know needs to be done. Every single time this box remains closed, every single time none of the parts come out to be clipped or fixed, means I'm one step away from having this. But even 5 minutes a day, 5 seconds towards what you know is right, towards whatever you want to do, is better than making the decision to not do it at all. You're training yourself every single time when you show up at the gym. You're training yourself every single time you show up to practice. You're training yourself every single time you do something right, to do what you believe in. But every single time you don't, you're unworking that. You're taking the easy way out. You're telling yourself you can't be that person that you want to be. But if that's what you really want, to take the easy way out, to live in mediocrity, to tell yourself you're no good, and that's all you have to do. But I highly doubt that's what everybody wants. We just don't understand ourselves. So if you want to be able to get to where you need to be, it doesn't have to be the hard work that you're focusing on. It just needs to be that you're making that decision every single time to work towards it. There's no hard work. There's no easy work. There's only work that moves you towards what you want to do, and there's work That's denying every single piece of effort that you've done before by telling yourself you're not gonna do it. So make that decision and build it every single time. And eventually, you won't even have to decide anymore. You'll know that big red button is the only button you'll press, whatever that button is in any situation.